Hey guys, I'm WeProps, and today I'm going to show you how I painted up this Warhammer Hellblaster Helmet. So for the base helmet, I'm just using this foam helmet that I made, and I scratch built this using some EVA foam that I had lying around. Didn't really follow any template or anything, just kind of freehanded most of it, so that's why it's a little wonky. But I just started off sealing this with a coat of black paint and Mod Podge mixture, about half a half of each, and kind of brush that on to get good coverage. And then once I got a good area painted with this, I went through and just kind of stippled it on to get rid of the brushstroke texture and to leave behind kind of a textured hammered steel type of look. My base coat provided kind of a black base layer to start off of, but you may have to paint it whatever helmet you're using black if your base cover didn't color it. I then went through and dry brushed on a light cobalt blue type of color. This ended up being a little bit darker than the original color just because I painted it over black. So if you want to get a really bright color, just do a couple coats of this. And I just went through and painted all the areas that need to be blue on this. Just a big portion of the dome, the faceplate, some of the ear covers, that type of stuff. And then I went through and stippled it on just to give it that texture again. Since this is a matte paint, you're really not going to be able to see much texture through it just because matte paint doesn't show texture super great, but I'm fine with it. After that had dried, I went through and stippled on a bright silver over the sections that I had left black, such as like the ear covers and the tubing, and then kind of that back plate portion. And I just went through and stippled this on with my brush. And then in some areas where the brush strokes were a little bit more apparent, I went through and stippled it on with a piece of upholstery foam. I like to use upholstery foam just because it's cheaper than buying sponge brushes, and I can get a lot more bang for my buck, though I do have to cut them myself. So I mean, that's just what I like to use. And I'm just using normal craft paint on this whole thing. I find it's cheaper, and I think it works just about as good as most normal paints. I then went through and just went and kind of highlighted some areas with silver paint. I have some scarring and stuff that I added on this helmet, and so I'm just highlighting those, making those stand out. And since this helmet has probably gone through a lot, being like a helmet that's been used in battle, I also stippled some silver on a lot of the edges to simulate the natural wear and tear of metal and painted stuff, just where the paint chips off or gets worn away. And later I'm going to go through and add a little bit of a black wash on here, and for that I just watered down some paint and kind of brushed it into the grooves and stuff, smeared it around, made the helmet look nice and grimy. I also brushed it into some of the grooves and stuff like you see me doing right here, just to get that nice grimy look, like dirt and stuff is built up. And I think it just adds a nice level of authenticity to this helmet, especially since it's a little cattywampus. I do think like weathering helps make it look a little bit more worn and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the paint job came out on this. I might repaint this helmet later. I'm planning on making a full Warhammer 40k Space Marine suit, so I might repaint it if I change like chapters or something, since this is right now either an Ultramarines or Blood Angels Hellblaster helmet. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice. If you guys ever use any of the techniques or anything that I used in this video, just, let me know. I didn't make any of these or anything. I got them from a lot of different people, but it would be really cool to see what you guys do with what I've shown. And I appreciate all you guys watching. If you guys don't mind liking and subscribing, I really appreciate it. And I shall see you guys all next build. Also, if you have anything you guys want me to build, be sure to let me know and I'll try and make it. I have a pretty good break right now, so probably could get building.